Hi, everyone. So, this is going to be a venty episode. I just have some things I need to talk about. It shouldn't take too long, but if you're not in the mood to listen to somebody vent, you can just skip this one. Alicia helped me work through this a little bit earlier, but I just needed to get on here and say some stuff out loud because this has to do with work. So in the 4 years, I'm bad at math. In the 4 years I've been doing my freelancing from home, copy editing and proofreading, I have had only 3 people out of, I think it's over 200 jobs that I've done. I've only had 3 people not give me a 5-star review. And this is not me like, oh my God, you're going to give me a bad review. It's not like just that. I'm not vain like that. And I also want to just let you guys know that there's 2 sides to every story. I get that. Just so you guys know, like, I have no problem owning up to a mistake. I have made many of them throughout my life. And I've made them at work. It's just inevitable. So whenever a mistake gets caught, or, well, not now, but like back then when I was working for other people, whenever somebody would point out something that like I didn't get right or that I missed the mark on a little bit, I would apologize, ask for more clarification, fix what it was, and then resubmit it. No big deal. People make mistakes all the time. I am not trying to act like I don't. So since I do not do good with people who these are people on Upwork that like I don't have day-to-day relationships with like you would with coworkers and see them on a daily basis and feel more comfortable, like you would know their work style, their personality, all of that. Most of these are strangers except for my file of like regular customers or regular clients. What was I just saying? Sorry, I've been feeling pretty anxious. Hold on. Clients. Okay, that's what I was saying. Sorry. So it's not like these people, like I don't know how to interact with them the way that I would with somebody that I know, if that makes any sense. So basically what I mean is for the last 4 years, I have gone out of my way to submit like quality work every single time. And I don't doubt that, like, I probably have errors here and there. I would like to say that I don't, but, like, I'm human. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect. But before the work leaves my computer and goes to somebody else's, that means that, like, I am 100% okay with what I'm sending. And I stand by my work, and that's that. So because I didn't want to start off my business by pissing a lot of people off by doing shitty work, because then they would leave a bunch of shitty reviews. And if you get too many at once, like at the beginning, nobody's going to want to hire you. So I do really good work. And over the years, there's been a handful of times that I misunderstood a direction that a client gave me, or they didn't communicate a direction 100% the way it should have been. So I only did half of what, well, anyways, I think you know what I'm saying. So if I have questions, I ask them. If I make mistakes, I apologize and I fix them, and I move right along, because like I can't sit there and dwell over that. But then when stuff like what today happens, I do dwell. So, this lady sent me a user guide last week, and I got it done over the weekend because I had some time. It wasn't like a big book or anything like that, but basically it's just a standard copy editing job. You fix the grammar, you make sure everything flows well. You make sure everything's consistent as far as spelling and like capitalization and stuff like that. So before I start any job, I always ask the client, do you have a style guide for me? Because style guides, if you don't know what those are, it's just like either an agency or like a individual like author's preference on how like they write. So they'll want certain words capitalized or not capitalized. They'll want either British English or American English. They'll want, like sometimes people are very, very nitpicky. The majority are not. Because I use Chicago, which is just the style guide that like pretty much every editor uses when there's no house guide. And Chicago I love it. But anyways, that's boring to talk about. So I asked this lady, I said, do you have a style guide? Because if they do, then I know that like I leave this word alone. I don't mess with this part of it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have recorded, but I always think that every time I do. So she said no, she did not have a style guide. So I told her which one I usually go off of, but like when it's user guides, it's like a little bit more technical. So Chicago style doesn't cover every aspect of, I don't know how to explain. So she said no. And I told her what I used. She said that she was good with that. She didn't have any specific directions. I always ask, do you have a style guide? And is there anything specific you want me to focus on? Because, I don't know, sometimes a person will use M dashes all the fucking time. And they'll be like, I use these all the time. Can you rework some sentences here and there when you see too many of these being used? Like stuff like that. So I did my normal good work. I have style sheets that like I keep. So like I have a spelling style sheet. I'm sorry that this is so fucking boring. I bet. I'm so sorry. But I have a style sheet for spelling that lets them know this is how these are the misspelled words that I found, and here's what the actual spelling is. And then I have a separate style sheet that lets them know what dictionary I used, what style guide I used, what punctuation choices I made, what grammar choices I made, like that kind of stuff. And that way they can just open those up to begin with, and they'll know what to expect when they're looking through the document. So they're not surprised by anything. It's just the professional thing to do. So I did that, and I sent her the stuff, and that was oh, wait, I didn't work on her stuff this weekend. That was somebody else's. I finished her stuff last week, turned it in on Friday, and typically, like, within 24 hours, a client will approve payment, even if they haven't looked through the whole thing, which I don't really like when they approve payment and don't look at everything first, because I don't want them to find something after, and then they'll regret that they paid me, and they'll be like, excuse me, what about this? I don't know. I've never had that happen, but I just don't like it. But so she didn't, usually like if it's not within that 24 hours, it's either somebody that just doesn't talk at all, because I'll get those ones that just hire me and then pay me and then close the contract, and they haven't said fucking boo to me, but they'll leave me 5 stars. I don't really mind those. Where was I going with this? God. I don't remember. Still thinking. I don't fucking remember. This has happened to me like 20 fucking times today. And I'm bad with math, so I probably mean 50. Let's put that down. Oh man, I seem like, I feel like I'm all over the place. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, now I do. Okay, so she didn't reply back for like a couple of days, and that sometimes worries me when a client takes that long. They don't even acknowledge that they received the work, which I always hope that they do, and I should probably just ask that they do that. So I worry, and I'm like, the more time that goes by, maybe they don't like what I did. And this is the same process the same thought process I engage in every fucking time. And I really, really want to stop this, and I probably need to devote more work to doing that, and I haven't been. But, I know I do good work. And over the last 4 years, only a few people have had issue with the work that I've done, even though the mistakes were on their part. So getting to the meat of the story, which is I sent my work in. It took me hours to do that job. I was very proud of what I did. She writes back and she's like, so you lowercased like these terms. And There were like 4 terms that I lowercased, and they were mentioned hundreds of fucking times throughout this user manual or user guide or whatever. And I wrote her back and I'm like, yes, I did. And she's like, well, why? And I'm like, well, because they're not proper nouns. Like, they don't need to be capitalized. And what she had was half of them in the document were capitalized and half of them were not. So for consistency, I go with all of them are not going to be capitalized because that would look weird. It already looks weird with half and half. I don't know, like these details I know are so fucking boring. But anyways, it came down to she should have sent me a fucking style guide with what she wanted to stay capitalized or to be capitalized or not touched. That's what those are for. So I told her, like, I'm sorry, you know, like, you didn't mention that this is what you wanted, which is why I asked for a style guide. But so what I did was I changed, I don't think it took that long. I just changed the shit that I needed to change the way that she wanted to, even though I told her that, like, it doesn't look right, it still looks messed up because, like, this word's capitalized here, the next page it's not, the page after that it is. I just don't like stuff that doesn't look consistent. I didn't say that to her, but, like, you shouldn't be putting work out there like that. Like, don't be publishing shit that looks like that. So anyways, I did it, you know, customer's always right. Even though I knew that she was wrong, I still did this because people make mistakes. I forget things too. So I try to give the benefit of the doubt, but no, it took me a couple hours. That's how long it took me to just go back and, like, change all of those to the way she wanted them. And so when you work in Microsoft Word and you turn the track changes feature on, every single edit that you make shows up in red so that when they're going through the document, they see all the red is the changes that you made. So about half an hour after I send that to her, she writes back and she's like, so my team of 6 people have to go onto the website and manually change all of these things themselves. So the changes that, like, you made that I asked you to just make, like the ones that she had just asked me to make, they showed up in red because I wanted to prove to her that, like, that I'm showing my work. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're always supposed to do. She wanted me to go back and change them all so that they're not red. But I can't do that unless I accept all of the changes in the document, at least as far as, like, I understand, because I am surprised I barely know how to operate a laptop. That's how bad I am with technology. But so she basically wanted me to go back and make it so that those specific changes are not red so that her team doesn't, like, waste their time comparing the two and seeing that a change doesn't need to be made. I don't know if that makes sense. Or this is probably way too much detail. And so I was fucking pissed and I didn't say anything back. I just sat down and I started doing what she asked. And after about 5 minutes, I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I didn't even have to do what I did earlier, but I did because I wanted to make sure that she was pleased with the deliverable. And now she's asking me to do this, and that's not something I'm supposed to be doing unless she's willing to pay me more. So I wrote back and I was like, I explained, it took me a couple hours to make these changes that you asked me to make after I did my work. And now you're asking me to go back and, like, make it so that it doesn't look like I made any changes just so your team will have an easier time going through things. I don't know. So I just politely said that, like, I wasn't going to do that because it was going to take a couple of hours and this wasn't something that she specified prior to hiring me. And I haven't heard back, but, like, I'm recording into an app on my phone, so she could rate me at any second and it'll pop up and I'll see it. And what bothers me about this is many things. It's, you didn't tell me everything up front, like, you know, you're supposed to. So this mistake is your fault, not mine. I did my job properly. I absolutely did. But you wanted your shit to go back to looking fucked up here and there. I changed it back to making it look fucked up just like you wanted, you know? Like, I did what this lady asked. Wait, what was I saying? Oh my God, this is like, Why do you guys still listen to me? Oh, man. Today's been a bad menopause day, too. Not that anybody asked, but I have had hot flashes. I have gone through 4 fucking t-shirts today. And most of the time I was in front of a fan, so... But anyways, so yeah, that's what I said to her. I made myself stop doing that extra work that I didn't have to do. And I sat and I thought about that for a few minutes because I've never done that. And yeah, I guess like poor reviews do bother me. Like I think they would bother anybody, but like I don't do the quality work I do just to get like a good review. Like that is not why I do this work. I do it because I fucking love finding errors. I like this stuff. I like to read, and I feel productive while I'm doing it. Oh yeah, I just forgot what I said. Oh my God, this is like so bad. I just gotta keep it moving with whatever comes to my head, I guess. Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I'll admit I did have a gummy like a couple hours ago, so that probably explains more of like the memory issues right now, in case anybody was wondering. But like, I don't use marijuana all the time. I just was feeling like anxious earlier. Oh, never mind. That's not important. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. This sounds like all over the place in my head and out loud. And we are 16 minutes in. I am not wasting these 16 minutes. Nope. So this is getting published. But anyways, like I go out of my way to do top quality work because A, that's the kind of work ethic I have. And B, like, I mean, that's just what you're supposed to do. So, on Upwork, what happens when you like turn your work in is the client, if they don't approve payment after 2 weeks, Upwork approves it for you and you get paid regardless. So I'm not worried about that. I'll get my money regardless. Like there's no way this lady is going to be able to get like a refund because I did the work I was supposed to do. So I'm not worried about that. I am worried about like what she'll say when she leaves the review, because like the way that my mind works is a potential client is going to see my profile. They're going to see that one review that has like less than a 5, like maybe it'll have like a 3, like, and be like really terrible. And they'll see that and they'll be like, oh no, I'm not going to hire her. Even though I have over 200 5-star reviews below that one. So my mind doesn't go to, oh, well, duh, they'll know that I was just dealing with like a not so great client, because those happen sometimes because all the other clients seem to love me. So rationally, I know that people think this, but like when I'm in like my thoughts, I just assume that like, nope, I'm fucking ruined. They're going to see that review. They're going to think I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. They're going to look through the rest of the 5-star reviews and think that those people are stupid and that I did shitty work and they were okay with it. Like I will go and go and go and go, and I need to work on this. But so I started feeling anxious because all of these things were happening at once. Like, I know this lady is not happy with me. She wasn't happy the first time that she wanted me to redo something, even though I didn't have to, but I did. And then she wasn't happy the second time. And she's definitely not going to be happy this time because I'm not doing what she asked. And I don't like interactions like that. I don't think, hold on, dry mouth. I've never told a client I'm not going to do that, because clients don't fucking ask for shit they're not paying for. So I've never had to do that. And I was going to do it just to make her happy. But like, then I thought about stuff and I was like, you know, like you could give them exactly what they want, and they're people, they make mistakes. You're just a human. You made some mistakes, even though I didn't, but she thought I did. And maybe she won't leave you like a bad review. Did that have anything to do with what I was just talking about? I just forgot. That left my mind. I will wrap this up soon, I promise. I'm worried about what she's going to write back. because she's not going to be happy. And then that makes me feel anxious when somebody else isn't happy with my work. Alicia was like, she put things into perspective. She was like rational about it. She's like, you know that you're good at your work. You're not going to be able to please everybody all the time. And she's like, and like in the last 4 years, having only a few people not be very happy, that's like better than it being like a regular thing. So like it did help when she said some of that stuff, because like once in a while if I hear something logical coming out of somebody else's mouth when I'm feeling really anxious, I'll just fucking grab onto it and try to pull myself out of the anxiety hole. So that's what she helped me with. And like 20 minutes later, somebody gave me a job that I didn't know that was referred to me by somebody else I did work with. So like, I know I'm good at what I do, but like, I guess it's just like, why can't people just like, I don't know if I've paid people, like I've used Upwork to hire people to do stuff for me. And I pay them what I ask them to do. I don't ask them to do anything more than what I'm paying them for. Like, it's not like that. So like, and I'm very specific about like, I don't give them like a whole page worth of stuff, because who the fuck wants to see that? But I'm like, please don't do this. Please do this, this, and this. And then don't do that. And then that's it. Because if I'm paying you, my money's important to me. I want to make sure I'm getting something good back. So like, why would somebody just be willing to pay? Like this particular project was a couple $100. So not that much, but like, it still is a decent amount of money. Why would you be willing to part with $200 and you didn't even provide like very clear expectations at the beginning? Like if you wanted stuff to look a certain way, you should have said it. Like, I don't get it. Like, why don't people think about stuff like this? And then like this is what led me to go talk to Alicia about this, because I just kept digging and digging and digging, thinking about this. And, excuse me, I will go into all kinds of thinking of more than what I just said. Like, I will go to where like, if I hadn't gone to Alicia and recognized that I was just not thinking very clearly, I would have like in my head have made it seem like, oh, we're about to be homeless and we're going to be living in, like, this is so stupid. But this is like where my mind goes. Like, oh no, this one person isn't happy. They're going to give me a shitty review. Everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to think I suck. They're going to stop paying me for work. They're going to stay away from me like the plague. And I will never be able to make money again. And I know that's not true. And I'm still very dependent on Upwork, if I'm honest, because like it's hard advertising. Like I got my own website and everything, but it's hard to figure out like how to advertise and have it within like a good budget. Like I don't have a lot of money for that. So that's not quite taking off as fast as I would want it to. So like, Upwork that's where I make my money. And, the good news is like after 14 days of a review being posted and a contract being closed, then I can write in and ask them to delete the comment, and they will. Because you're allowed to do that like 4 times a year. Like once a quarter, you're allowed to ask them to delete a bad review, and they will. Because that's what I did with like, I think one of the other ones. I don't think I did it with both. But I just don't like how this makes me feel. And the fact that like now I'm 23 minutes in and I told you I would be done soon, and it doesn't look like that's happening. And I broke my promise, because I'm pretty sure I said I promised. And nope, I'm still talking about this shit because this is what it just makes me feel like. And I wish I didn't feel like this. Like I wish that I could just let it roll off my back like it seems a lot of people can do. Because I don't have to let this bother me. And I know I'm letting it bother me. But I don't know how to not let it bother me, even though I know things I can be doing to not let it bother me. Ugh. I don't know. I just needed to get that out loud. Like, why can't people just be like me? Like, everybody just fucking do what you're supposed to do to begin with. Like, be specific about what you want done. And you will get that back if you've hired somebody good, but like, why can't people just be like me and be very direct? And this is what I want. Thank you. Goodbye. Like, not this back and forth bullshit with people that were not clear with their expectations to begin with. Like, I do sound like I'm very arrogant right now because, like, I just don't know. I am a good worker, and every place I have worked where I've had to have coworkers, I've always thought to myself, like, why can't you motherfuckers just be like me? Because if you were, there would be no issues at this place. Like there just wouldn't be no issues. Everybody would get their work done. Everybody would be good at what they do. Nobody would be fucking looking for gossip and drama to pass their days at work. Like, just be like me. And that's unrealistic. And that is never going to happen. But I know that there's people like me now. I at least know that. I didn't know that before. But I don't think I have anything else to say about this. Other than, once again, I'm sorry if you got this far and you're still listening. Hopefully there was some benefit to this. I just needed to process it out loud. I don't know like exactly what the purpose of this episode would be other than what it usually is, which is maybe if this happens to you, you know that you're not the only one. And like, I'm just bracing myself for when this lady writes back, and I'm just going to have to accept how things are going to go and that she's not going to be pleased, and that a review doesn't define me. Like, God, I sound so vain, but I'm not trying to be vain. Like, I don't know, like throughout my whole life, it's kind of been like that. Like, it would, like, somebody will say something. Like, I could have 20 people say I do a good job at something, but one person will come by and say, oh, like, what the hell? And I will forget that all those other people were very happy with what I did. And I will immediately think that, like, I fucked up so badly. And this person is so upset. And I just, because, like, a lot of those situations have happened to me throughout my life. Like, I've had to go through those. And, like, they happened when I was a child and I didn't know how to cope with things. I didn't know how to think rationally, because you just don't until, like, you get to a certain age. So, like, whatever thought process I was engaging in has just kind of solidified, and I'm trying to get myself out of these fucking wires. Like, these wires in my head need to go somewhere else, because I just spent 27 minutes talking about this. But I feel better, so that's good. So thanks for listening, and have a good week. Bye.